Today, I'm going to show you how I built an AI real estate agent in under 10 minutes to do my community updates. Now, this is the very same AI agent that I built for a realtor 2 weeks ago that secured 3 listing appointments in the first week. Now, not to segue, but my other AI agent booked 5 appointments and discovered 3 qualified leads in a single day. So let's get into it. Let's assume that 123 Noah Street was just sold or just listed, and I wanted to call the rest of the homeowners within a 1-mile radius to say,
Hey, I'm doing a community update to let neighbors in the area know that the home 2 blocks away at 123 Noah Street just listed for $1.5 million. Are you curious to learn more about how this might impact your property value?
Hey, I'm doing a community update to let neighbors in the area know that the home 2 blocks away at 123 Noah Street just listed for $1.5 million. Are you curious to learn more about how this might impact your property value?
Hey, I'm doing a community update to let neighbors in the area know that the home 2 blocks away at 123 Noah Street just listed for $1.5 million. Are you curious to learn more about how this might impact your property value?
Hey, I'm doing a community update to let neighbors in the area know that the home 2 blocks away at 123 Noah Street just listed for $1.5 million. Are you curious to learn more about how this might impact your property value?
yeah, that was Zen, Ava, Arya, and Axel. You get custom engineered voices with all types of accents to choose from. Okay, so from there, the AI will go into its pitch, understanding the customer's needs, motivation, and urgency, all the way through handling objections like a pro. So let's dive in and build one. All right, so first step is to determine which AI agent we're going to be building. There's a lot of options here. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the real estate agent. We're going to go in with qualifying buyers and sellers, and obviously following up with nurturing. These are the only 2 that I'm going to need for this purpose of our exercise. All right, so I'll have those selected. Continue. What area of real estate do you focus on? Primarily residential is what most are, but there's a lot of options here available as well. For this AI agent, we're going to go residential real estate. Mike will be doing outbound calls. However, if people return a missed call, Mike can also take that as an inbound call. So we want to make sure both are selected here. Mike's role is an ISA, and we are doing a community update, right? And for this property, the status of this property is, let's just say just sold, and it's 123 Noah Street for the purpose of this exercise. Okay. All right, let's talk digits. So we're going to go ahead and select a phone number that we'd like to use to call with. Obviously, you want to localize that area code so the answer rate increases dramatically. When you're calling someone with that same area code, that answer rate jumps up to about 85%. So what you'd like to do is claim one. We'll click on that. Let's say I'm calling out of LA. Then we want to go 213. I have all these options to choose from. I'll select that and continue. But for this exercise, I already have numbers previously purchased and claimed. So I'll just go with this 213 here. All right, so that's the number my AI agent will be calling with. Next, what callback number should we use if someone requests one during the call? So in a scenario where someone answers the call and they're like, hey, you caught me in a meeting, I need to call you back. You can use the same number that you've assigned to your AI agent. That way your AI will tell them, yeah, just call me back at 213-371 if you want the AI to take that call back. And in most cases you do, because the person has not been qualified yet. So it just makes the most sense to send that person back to the AI. Now, these are different numbers I have here for different AI agents. I want to make sure my callback number matches up with the same AI I'm calling with, unless you have a different campaign and you want to send it to Donna, who's to answer incoming calls, whatever the case may be. All right. Next, what number should we forward live transfers to when a lead wants to talk to you? There's 2 ways this can be useful. The first is if someone says, sure, let me talk to your team. That'll automatically initiate a transfer. The second will be, you may tell Mike, hey, Mike, if someone has made it past this threshold of the qualifying questions, I want you to transfer that lead directly to me. So you can set a threshold in which Mike will initiate that transfer directly to you. Or you may also tell Mike, hey, if you get a hot lead based on the conversation you're having, I want you to initiate a live transfer immediately. So then you leave it to Mike to initiate that transfer based on what Mike thinks is a hot lead. All right. Now, for those of you that are too busy to take a live call at any time of the day, you may want to select don't make a live transfer. Prefer the AI agent schedules them for a call back, right? So that's also something you can do. And in most agents actually do that. All right, let's continue here. Okay, so choosing a voice for Mike. Now here we have 16 plus custom engineered AI voices. I'm a huge fan of Dax, so we may go with Dax. I'm also a huge fan of Zane. Now, if I'm calling people in California, I probably want to use a Californian accent. If I'm calling people in Florida, probably a Florida accent. In New York, same philosophy goes there. So I'll go with Axel, click continue. Now, this is what we call KYCs, know your customer. These are the questions that your AI will ask prospects, homeowners in the conversation it's having to further determine how ready they are to move forward with either listing or buying a property. So in our case, if we're doing a community update and letting homeowners know that this property just sold, I'm probably interested in talking to sellers. So if I go into the needs tab, I have a set of predefined questions I can select. Why have you decided to sell your home? Are there any significant life changes prompting this decision? I'll select that. But if I wanted to add my very own question, I can just click on that and add one. Under motivation, let's see what motivational questions I probably want to ask. What's your primary motivation for selling now rather than waiting? How important is the selling price to you versus the speed of the sale? That's a good one. Are there any specific factors that would influence your decision to accept an offer or reject it? Maybe price point could be an answer for most. Sure, I'll bring that in as well. And urgency. When do you hope to have your home sold? Are there any specific events or dates driving the timeline? For example, starting a new job. How would it impact you if the sale took longer than anticipated? All right, you can select whatever is relevant for you. In my case, I'm just going to go ahead and skip these questions and click continue. As mentioned, the purpose of our AI agent, Mike, is to qualify sellers. So for this portion, I'm not going to even have any buyer questions in the mix. Now, if I was doing circle prospecting or if I was calling buyers, then I may want to have buyer questions being asked to qualify buyers. In our case, Mike is reserved for just qualifying sellers. So I'll skip this step. Adding a calendar here, if I want to give Mike access to my calendar, allowing him to see what is available, what is not. This step here, I'll just select one of the calendars available and let Mike directly book on that, but I'll skip this step as well. Okay, so I've selected Noah's pipeline, which then gives me all the different stages within Noah's pipeline. I have the flexibility in creating as many pipelines as I want. So assume that I have a pipeline for FSBOs or expired listings or community update. I may want to separate the leads and the activities and even the agents that are working within each of these pipelines. So that way my workflow is just a cleaner space. So what I'm doing here is I'm assigning Mike to the new lead, which tells Mike, hey, Mike, if there's a lead within this stage, I want you to call that lead immediately by setting all the values here to 0. It's telling Mike to call immediately. Now, there's this stat that we've measured over the last 11 months, and it's that calling leads second time within a 3-minute window boosts the answer rate by 80%. So what I'll do here is set this to 0, and if they don't answer, I'm going to go ahead and add a call. And I'll tell Mike to ring these people 3 minutes after if there is no answer on the first call. Now, if they don't answer this as well, I'm going to have a then move step, which then moves them to the follow-up stage. Now we put them in a follow-up cadence, allowing Mike to follow up with them throughout the next 2 weeks. So what that looks like is I'll go ahead and then assign Mike to the follow-up stage and say, Mike, I want you to wait a day, then make a call. That person still doesn't answer. I want you to wait 2 days, then make a call. That person doesn't answer there as well. Wait 2 days, make a call, and we'll gradually taper off to 3 days. And if they don't answer at this point, this lead is considered unresponsive. So we'll go ahead and click on unresponsive. This just moves the lead across the pipeline in a very clean, seamless way, allowing Mike to know what to do and when to do that event and action. So just to recap, this is what we've set up in our new lead, where we tell Mike to call the lead immediately. Then if they don't answer, Mike, I want you to call them back 3 minutes later. If they don't answer, then I want you to move them to the follow-up stage, clearing out the new lead stage and just having your follow-up stage set up for cadences on different types of leads. And then this is our follow-up cadence. It'll wait a day, wait 2 days, wait 2 days, wait the third day before finally moving them to unresponsive. Now, if you go further below, you'll see the different stages we've set up here. The hot lead, Mike's going to push leads into this pipeline for me. This may be someone that's interested in selling in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, right? You can actually create specific stages to segment those leads based on the interest or what you define as a hot lead. So for example, if I wanted to segment 30 days, 6 months, 12 months across their own respective stage, I can actually set that up here by just adding a new stage. Another interesting stage may be a CMA for you. If in your pitch, you're saying, hey, Would you be interested in the CMA to learn more about the, your home value? And most people are actually quite curious. And that's been one of the lead generation strategies where people that do say, I'd like a CMA, that lead is then pushed into a CMA stage, which then triggers an automated email to send them a CMA based on their property details, right? So if you want to be very specific about the stages, you can go ahead and expand on that. Obviously, if someone is booked, Mike will then push them into the booked stage. The no-show is for those that actually don't show up to your 15 or 30-minute call. You can automatically push them there. Maybe a different agent like Ava will follow up and say, hey, I know you had a meeting with David, John, whoever it may be, and you missed your appointment. I'm just giving you a call back to schedule you, right? So that automatically can happen with your other agent. All right, and if they're not interested, they'll get moved over to the not interested stage, and then obviously unresponsive for those that don't answer the call. All right, and the script. So now, as you can see, the script is already pre-built for us, right? Based on the series of questions we've been answering along the way, Mike's script has been developing on the background. So what it's greeting with is, hey, first name, this is Mike with Noah's Realty. How's it going? And then it'll go right into the script. Hey, first name, I'm reaching out to share some updates about properties like yours in your area. We're currently working with homeowners nearby, and I thought you'd be interested to know that the home at 123 Noah Street just sold. Are you perhaps currently in the market to list your home too? Is the qualifying question that it'll go into. Now, if they express interest in more details or future selling plans, ask the following seller KYC. So remember our seller motivations that we selected earlier? Well, they're now in here. That question being, how important is the selling price to you versus the speed of the sale? And then it'll go into, are there any specific factors that would influence your decision to accept an offer or reject it, right? Further determining how qualified this person is. And then it'll go into the seller needs. Are there any significant life changes prompting this decision, such as a job relocation, change in the family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? If you scroll down, you'll find another condition, condition 2, if they're not interested in selling at all, right? Mike will have a response for that. And the question here leaves it off with, would you find it helpful if I periodically updated you on property trends, significant market shifts that might affect your home's value? If they say yes, Mike's going to go into, wonderful, I'll add you to our list so you'll receive notifications about any major updates that could impact property values in your area. And then it'll continue on to gather the email. If it's a no, they'll respond back. And then there's a third condition. If they express interest in investment opportunities, potentially buying, right? It'll then go into the buying questions. Then there's condition 4, miscellaneous conditions to consider. If they're not interested in selling right now, and various other things. Now, here at the very bottom, as you can see, there's a placeholder for details. So if they ask questions about 123 Noah Street, here's all the property detail on that listing, which you can then pass off to Mike. If you import this detail within your sheet or within your lead sheet, because you'll be able to upload a CSV, then Mike will have access to all this detail pertaining to that particular home. In my case, the community update we're doing is on 123 Noah Street, so I want to come in here and fill out the details, the property type, the square footage, and all that other information to equip Mike with the answers that he needs if someone is to say, well, how much is that listed for? Or how many bedrooms and bathrooms does it have? Or what street is it on? Any specific details about that property, Mike will be able to have and share that with the prospects. All right, this is just kind of a recap of our KYC for the seller. We had selected one need and 2 motivations. So that's just kind of here for us as guidance. And I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing here. So let's continue. Okay, that was it. Here is our AI agent, Mike, doing our inbound calls for a community update. As you can see here, the status of this community or this property is just sold, and the address is at 123 Noah Street. And here's Mike, our outbound agent, also doing our community update. If we go ahead and view the script, our script is here. Let me go over to more info. Let me show you guys some things that are in here. So we've got the voice I've selected, which is Axel. You can go back and change different voices if I'd like. I have the expression options. So here, let's make Mike a bit expressive, giving him personality. And then the starting pace, which essentially is saying, how quickly do you want Mike to engage in the conversation at the start of the conversation? And what is that speed or pace that Mike should have? Always can start off with short pause, I should say, sorry, and adjust along the way. And then we have the response speed, in which Mike can either be fast, balanced, or slow. This essentially tells Mike, hey, as soon as someone is done speaking, you can then dive into the conversation with your response. Now, depending on the demographic of which your AI is speaking with, this could be an older demographic or a younger demographic. You may want to adjust the response speed accordingly. Typically, older people tend to speak very slow and still gather their thoughts as they're speaking, in which they're not entirely done, right? And so we don't want the AI interject and interrupt as someone is thinking. So you may want to go with a slow option there. If you're talking to a younger demographic, say anywhere from like 25 to 35, 40-ish, you may want to go with a fast in which you know someone is actually done saying their piece, so then Mike can instantaneously respond back. Now, the AI does this all on its own in terms of knowing when to respond and how to respond, but we wanted to add these controls for you to adjust the speed for your AI agent, okay? In my case, I'll just go balanced. Awesome. So this does it. All right, last step is to obviously test the AI. So let's go ahead and call myself. Okay, well,
Hey, I'm doing a community update to let neighbors in the area know that the home 2 blocks away at 123 Noah Street just listed for $1.5 million. Are you curious to learn more about how this might impact your property value?
and just like that, AI is handling real estate calls better than most agents. No scripts to fumble, no waste of time, just results. Now, here's Camille using AgentX to call 100 prospects a day to do a community update. And as you'll see here, her AI found her 11 hot leads and booked 6 listing appointments. And here's Steven using AgentX to call 50 prospects a day to absentee owners. And he was able to secure 3 listing appointments in 3 weeks of launching. Now, if you're still cold calling manually or relying on outdated methods, you're already behind. AI is doing the heavy lifting right now in your industry. You can get started today with your own free AI agent at myagentx.com. See you there.